Well, Keya, I officially welcome you to Beyond Limits Stories. Okay, so tell me why you won the Prime Minister award from Prime Minister Modi.
On December 26th, 2004, last year, I had I was honored to receive the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Puraskar, and I got this award because of the books that I write, and it's not only because I write books, but the main cause I write books is because I raise awareness on rare diseases. And the category that I got it was for art and culture in the literary field for a social impact. When someone is suffering from something, the best another person can do is to empower that person rather than discourage or demotivate that person. So, yeah.
Well, Keya, I officially welcome you to Beyond Limits Stories. Thank you so much for joining us. We really look forward to hearing your story and the wonderful insights you'll be sharing with us today. I
I
want
do look forward.
Go ahead.
Yes, I do look forward to this podcast as well, and I hope that something good comes out of this.
Definitely will. So I want to start off with a segment called Beyond the Bean. This is to make us a little more in sync with each other. So for our guests, our audience, this is a rapid fire round and to shake things up and to really see how Keya's thinking really is beyond limits. So are you ready, Keya? I'll give you a set of words, Keya, and I want you to give me the first thing that pops into your mind.
Yeah.
Ready? Okay. Resilience,
Brave warriors,
freedom,
rights,
and power,
together we are stronger.
pain,
Gain,
step,
sorry,
step,
uh,
like हिंदी में नहीं बोलते कदम रखो, step,
step, um, stepping stone to success.
failure,
Mm, never give up.
growth,
Sorry,
growth,
growth. Mm, develop,
and suffering.
empowering.
Oh, very nice associations, Keya.
Yes.
I'm very impressed with the associations that you gave me.
Yeah, I think that those two are really closely related because when someone is suffering from something, the best another person can do is to empower that person rather than discourage or demotivate that person. So, yeah.
Yes, I agree. And I think all of your associations show that your thinking is grounded in optimism. And even quite frankly, at such a young age, it's pretty impressive that you have such a mindset. So let's start the conversation. So Keya, I know you said you have spinal muscular atrophy. Tell me a little bit about it, and in spite of that, how did you get inspired to spread awareness through your writing or different advocacies? You're still 14 years old, so That's quite a big feat.
So, in medical terms, spinal muscular atrophy is a neuromuscular progressive genetic disorder that robs people of their physical strength gradually over the years. It slowly takes away the ability of the person to walk, swallow, and even breathe, which eventually ends our life. SMA is known as the largest cause of infantile death. And in SMA, there are four types. I was diagnosed with SMA type 2. And I would like to say here that SMA is not a condition by birth, but it needs both your parents to be carriers of this disease. And the child can be born with this disease at any stage of their life. So, earlier the onset, the more severe it can be and life threatening.
So tell us about your challenges, and even though, um, despite these challenges, how you're continuing to advocate. Where do you find your inspiration and motivation to do advocacy, writing, artwork, speaking with corporate? You have your own NGO. Where do you get the motivation?
So, most of the people they think that living with a rare disease is challenging. I won't disagree on that because, you know, for someone living with SMA, every day they lose their ability to do something, right? But to to me, I don't think of any of this to be a challenge because I know that even though I'm losing the ability to move a muscle in my body, right? I am being able to do many more things because for a person who's able to walk, they're able to go out on the ground, play, they're able to do sports. And children, they excel in stuff like that, like children who are able to walk and they're physically able. But for someone like me, while I'm not able to do that, I'm keeping my focus in things that I can do sitting in my wheelchair, which is, like I use my wheelchair for as my legs because it helps me go from point A to point B. So to me, I don't think of myself as to be someone who's disabled because I'm able to do stuff which is creating an impact, which is helping people around me. Uh, some people are changing their way of thinking about people who are disabled. Like for someone who used to think that I was a girl who was living with SMA, a girl who was disabled, they're now thinking that this girl is able to write books, she's able to do so many more things. So I think that would be my answer to my challenges and how I think of myself as to be someone who is living with disabilities. And I think my biggest inspiration, who is um, kept motivating me to write books and to do what I am doing today, is my mom. And I think that if she would not have, if she would have not taken like if she would have taken no for an answer when I was, when I was born, and when the doctors told that I would be able to live only for 2 years, if my mom took that and she would not have spent those 2 years how she did, I would not have been where I am today. And for her attitude of never taking no as an answer, I think that has kept all of us as a family to to continue what we are doing. And um, I feel that uh, my mom, she has passed on that message that if you give up, nothing is going to happen. So that never give up attitude has come from her. And if one person had to make the impossible possible, it would be her. And I would also like to, um, like thank a few other people who've been a part of my life and who've shaped me into who I am today. So, firstly, it would be Frank Anthony Public School, which is in Bangalore. And you all might be thinking that we've never heard of this school. So, this school is actually where I danced on my wheels. So, my first book, Dancing on My Wheels, it comes, that inspiration of writing that book comes from there. And there I had danced on my wheels. And
Yeah,
if not,
do you by any chance have a copy of that book that you could Dancing on My Wheels that you can just show us?
I can bring it just 1 second, or I'll see if I have a background of that. Yes, this is Dancing on My Wheels.
Very nice. That's amazing. That's very nice, Keya.
Yes. So, in that school, my class teacher, if she would not have, like, um, if she would have not convinced the administration of the school, I don't think this book would have come out. And the books that are following, which is I'm Possible and Book on How to Write a Book. So a big thank you to Frank Anthony Public School and also 21K School, which is the school I'm studying in. It's an online school, which is not just for, I would like to mention this because a lot of people think that an online school is only for those who are differently abled or challenged, like for disabled people. But in this school, uh, children from all across the globe are there, people who can walk, people who are differently able. So it's an inclusive school. And also, uh, I think that my main point of writing a book came from this school because one day in my one of my class periods, my English teacher, she had um, asked me to call my mom upon the screen, and she had told my mom that, "Ma'am, your daughter is quite good in her speaking and writing skills. So we have this book writing event that's going on, and I would love if she could take part in that." So my mom was like, she was quite shocked to get an suggestion of me writing a book because that is something different. And that time we were on the path of crowdfunding, and I thought that if um, through my books I can raise awareness and do my part of contributing to um, all this could be done through books, then I thought that me and my mom thought that it would be a really good idea to at least write a book and see how it goes. So thank you, 21K School, for being a part of that. And also Bree Books, which is the platform through which I have published all my 3 books. And, um, as a publishing platform, their platform is very easy to use, and also they have done so much because although I have not been able to uh, go to places around the world, they have able to take my books across the globe to like US, UK, UAE, helping my book reach out to as many people as possible. So really thank you to Bree Books as well.
So I'm really impressed by what you just said that you don't really see your daily life as challenges, and you
Yeah.
said that just because you can do something, you focus on what you can do. That's super
Yes.
inspiring. Yeah, and let me tell you one thing, even people in my age don't have that maturity. So if you can keep this mindset, you're going to be in such a better place when you grow as you grow older. So God bless you, and keep that mindset. Very impressive.
Yes.
So
And it's no, I'm so sorry, but I just can't stop myself from adding points to what I've spoken. I feel that it's not only about me keeping that mindset, but also for me to share that kind of mindset with others. Because, when we share we share our journey or our learnings with someone, it can benefit another person, and it can help them go a fireplace as well. Because if I have this mindset and I'm inspiring you with it, and maybe from tomorrow or someday you start living your life with that mindset, you too will be able to achieve a lot more in life. So I feel that it's not just keeping that mindset to yourself, but sharing that mindset with everyone around you.
yes, and I think that's why you're here today. And I try to interview people like yourselves and have conversations with people like yourself that can serve as role models um, to the rest of society. Because even at your age, Keya, you're at a relatively young age where you've done so much, and with the wisdom and that you have, and that I've observed just by talking to you now for a few minutes, I'm quite impressed myself.
Okay.
So, Keya, tell me, what are some things that you focus on? Like you said, you can't do certain things, like you can't walk, you can't play with your friends, you can't play cricket with your friends. So there are certain things that you do focus on that they can't do. Share with us. What is some of those things?
So, as a lot of people know, I am an author. So I focus on my writing, and I also uh, am an artist. So I work on um, keeping myself active through doing a lot of art pieces. And like I mentioned earlier, the calendars that we had made this year for the artists in in our community, which is Am Possible and Smart. Um, those artworks are at the end of the year used to compile a beautiful calendar for the next year. So I work on my art. I also know how to code. So I have coded my own app, which is called Keya Sesame, and you all can find it on Google Play Store. Uh, Basically, through that, I have given information about myself, also about what we are doing as in our initiative, and you all can also find my website there on that app. So it's basically to um, give a person the whole history about myself, and also make them aware about the rare disease that I have and what we are doing to raise awareness on the other rare diseases. I also code other stuff, like I make my own projects for school and also sometimes for fun. I have my own YouTube channel, which is called Keya Hatkar Am Possible. I repeat it again, Keya Hatkar Am Possible. So through that, I post a lot of the things that I do, like the talks that I give, and also I do sing as well. So sometimes I post videos on that, and you all can check it out. I don't want to give out too much, and um, I do podcasts as well. So last summer when I had a break from school, I did a podcast with young authors from across India, and I got an amazing opportunity to interview them and get to know their journey as an author. So yeah, those are the few things that I do.
Wow. Um, yeah, you mentioned you're an artist. Do you by any chance have any examples that you can show me? I would love to see your artwork.
Yeah, sure. If it's all right, I'll just share my screen. Is that
Yeah,
possible?
yeah, of course.
So
Wow, Keya, how did you do this? This is mandala art.
yes. I'm sorry, but if you ask me on how I do this, I have no answer because when I see something, I try and do my best to make an art version of it because I don't even know if I find it challenging because at that moment I'm so immersed in doing that artwork. So all these detailing parts and all there help me concentrate and also you know keep my mind away from the other things for a while. So it's kind of like a therapy for me.
It is. Keya, these are beautiful.
Thank you.
Keya, have you ever heard of mandala art?
Yes, yes. These are based on mandala.
Yeah, so in mandala art itself is therapeutic, right? Because it brings you back
Yes,
to it's spiritual in essence, because it makes your mind focused, like you said. Um,
yes.
these are amazing, Keya. I'm very proud of you. I'm so happy.
Thank you.
And Keya,
Yes.
I have to ask you, do you sell these?
Actually, yes. So, we had, so last year we had this series called Ekam series, which was again a part of our initiative, I'm Possible and Smart. And there it was not only me, but a few more artists, two, three other artists. So we had a compilation of our artworks and we did sell these artworks.
Yeah, these are they're very nice, Keya. I will definitely keep you in mind when I'm putting on my own show. Those
Yes,
were amazing
I
art.
would love to be a part of it.
So tell me, Keya, I would what else keeps you busy? I heard your what do you do as an advocate? You're 30, you're among the 30,
14.
I'm sorry?
Oh, no, no. Oh, no, no, sorry. Yeah, the disability impact list. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, top 30 top disability inclusion advocates. Tell me what you do.
So, see, as an advocate, as of now, what me and my mom are doing is that we get invited to places like events. So, when I go there, I just don't talk about my journey because although my journey can be inspiring, I feel that, like I said, prevention is the key for all these rare diseases, right? And uh, if this kind of prevention is not done, and as the main advantage of being a child is that whenever you say something, people listen. So I feel that I should take that as uh, advantage and use that to the best ability. So when I'm going to an event, I speak about my journey, but also about uh, SMA, about other rare diseases, and what we can do to raise awareness and also prevent it. So you can raise awareness by having corporate meeting in companies. You can share that message with your family, your friends, and prevention can be done by nowadays a lot of people are mapping their janam patris before a marriage But before even doing that mapping, I feel that what all of us should do as responsible citizens of our country is that we should do a gene mapping test. I think that as responsible citizens, what a couple can do is that they should take a gene mapping test before conceiving their child, and through um, these gene mapping tests, you can get a list of the diseases that the child that will be born can have.
Right.
So in our country, there are 7,000 known rare diseases, and out of that, um, I'm pretty sure that those 7,000 are not even known. So I feel that prevention can be done by taking gene mapping tests, and raising awareness is by spreading the word.
So, yeah, I want to ask you, do you think your disorder, so your particular challenge, SMA, or people in general that have disorders or disabilities, do you think they have an unfair advantage?
I didn't understand that question actually.
So, what you just mentioned, Anna, you said before people conceive a child, they should definitely get gene mapping done,
Yes.
right? So, do you think that, like, you have spinal muscular atrophy, I have cerebellar ataxia, which could have been um somewhat
It
at
could have
least
been prevented.
forecasted, yeah, in a gene mapping test, right?
Yes.
So do you think people with disorders or with genetic conditions are in an unfair position?
I feel that it depends on how you take that disorder of yours. So, in your case, in my case, we have not let that disease take over us, and we've not just let our lives go by living with it or dying with it. But what we have done is that we've taken that up as a challenge, and what we are doing today is we are trying to come up with uh, plans which are going to help others like us. So, if, like as the famous saying goes, God chooses the strongest to fight the toughest battles. So,
Yeah.
I feel that if people like us who are not having this disability, or, the disorder or the disease, no one would have raised their voice to raise awareness or to prevent these kind of things. But since we as individuals have been born with this kind of disease, I think that we should take that we should take that up as a challenge and do what's best um, for the world and for our community.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I myself believe that God chooses the strongest warriors for the toughest battles. So, for gene mapping, although I don't think India follows it right now, I don't know if it's the best because I think gene mapping, what it does, it number one, it prevents, right? So if you see that your child is at a risk for one, two, three, four, five, six, maybe 10 mutations, you might start being a little bit wavery as a parent, how my child is gonna thrive, how difficult it may be for the child or for the parent. I think, like you said, um, when God chooses, like he chose you, right? He chose me, for example. There are some of us who can fight these battles. And if
Yeah.
if like, can you imagine if your parents or my parents had genetic mapping, and if I think the only reason you or I or anyone else reach their potential is because of the challenges they face, right? If
Yeah.
you didn't have your challenges, you wouldn't have had such amazing insights, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, this is a great conversation that I would generally have with an adult Keya. But
Yes.
I mean, you brought it up and I'm super happy that you did. But that's a little bit of my thought process on.
Yeah, and also I feel that, if our parents, it's all about awareness. If our parents were aware that there is something called a gene mapping test in our country, and if they could have done that, they would have been able to have a child in another way. Like today we have adoption and other ways of having a child. If just our parents were made aware of a gene mapping test and how to prevent their child from being born with a disorder, then I feel that we would not have had to go through the challenges and the so-called challenges that we are going through today.
But yeah, it's your challenges that have made you so inspiring and great.
Yes.
So Kia, can you tell me as an advocate, what changes would you like to see in society of how it approaches inclusion and how it thinks about inclusion?
So I feel that, like people think that being inclusive is um, having people of all age or people of all race in what they are doing, like in schools or maybe in events or something. But the true meaning of inclusion means doing what you're doing by having everyone in your team or maybe in what you're trying to do. So I feel that through what I'm doing, someday I want to see um, uh, like a place where all people who are differently able, they are able to access uh, like access stuff which they could not before. For example, parks or certain hospitals, or you know their right to access basic facilities. So I want that to be something which we all can see in the future. And also, like you said, inclusion, like everyone should be inclusive towards people like us, and also um, inclusive. And then also, like, what can I say? Just a second. Yes, I'd just like to sum it up. Sum it up as I want to see our country and our world be in a very good place for people with all kind of challenges and people who are differently able. And I feel that because there are so many people like you and me working towards that, um, working in that way, I feel that this change one day we will see. And for our future generations, a better world is going to be prepared. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think with all your initiatives, we are definitely getting there. So you do have a nonprofit initiative called I'm Possible and Smart. Tell us a little bit about it and what are its main goals. Tell me about your NGO. I Am Possible.
Yes. So I'm possible and smart, which is spelled as SMAART. That was started by me, my mom, and my sister. So basically, through this NGO, it's not exactly an NGO, but it's an initiative we've started. So, in our society, right, there's so many people who are kept at homes and they are not given that opportunity to come out and showcase their talents. I feel that everyone is, although the talent may not be that great or it may not be that evident, I feel that every person is special and they have something which needs to be brought out in the world. So through our initiative, it's not only for disabled people, but we try and get all kinds of people. So a person who is able to walk, who is able to take part in normal things, and a person like me. So we gather these kind of people and we showcase their talents. So this year and also the year before, we made calendars. So I don't know if you would have gotten a calendar, but we make calendars using artists' work. So we have a few artists in our community, including me, and we have taken their artworks and made calendars out of them. So for each artist, we have their own calendar, and it's not only an art calendar, but the calendar has the journey of that artist. And like for example, if I would take my calendar of each month, when you open the page, you would get to read a bit about me. And then there is also a quote which is written by the artist. So every year, I mean, every month when you turn over the page, you get to see something new. And when you see the artwork, it usually inspires the person who's viewing it. So through our NGO, through our initiative, we are trying to have such a community where we are encouraging everyone to bring out their talents. And also, we work with um, other corporates and NGOs. Like last year, we had a small corporate event with uh, a company called Adobe. So we raised funds for all the SMA families who came forward, and through that, the funds that were raised, we gave it to each of the families who came. And although the amount may not be that large, like I told before, the drugs that we are getting that is available, it's so expensive. But the amount we have raised has helped a lot of these um, warriors in our community get their surgeries done. So, for example, in SMA, in my condition, as we grow up, because our muscles get weak,
Yeah.
our spine starts to buckle. So, because of that, we need a surgery. Because if we don't get that surgery done, our breathing gets affected and usually we get bedridden. So, a lot of people have been able to get their surgeries done successfully. And yes, that is what we do through our NGO, our initiative.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so tell me why you won the Prime Minister award from Prime Minister Modi.
Yes, so on December 26th, 2004, last year, I had I was honored to receive the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Puraskar, and I got this award because of the books that I write. And it's not only because I write books, but the main cause I write books is because I raise awareness on rare diseases. And the category that I got it was for art and culture in the literary field for a social impact.
Wow, that's amazing. So how do you raise awareness through your books?
So, through my books, both my first books, which is Dancing on My Wheels and I'm Possible, both of them are semi fiction. And it is based on my life. So, what I try and capture through both of the books is that um, although I don't give out the name of the disease which I have, which is a spinal muscular atrophy, which is a rare progressive genetic disorder, I I kind of explain how it is for a person who is differently abled, and how she lives with that kind of disability, and how she is um, received in the society. So, like for people with disabilities, it's not always easy for us to get admissions in schools or take part in, um, like everyday things which is done in, your community. So that is what I try and convey through my books. And um, after publishing both my books through the platforms that I have gotten, like, for example, uh, doing this wonderful podcast with you, I try and raise awareness there as well, because I feel that although, so for me, the disease that I have, which is spinal muscular atrophy, right? Uh, for all these years, there was no treatment for this kind of condition. And now there is, like, 3 years ago, a medicine came out called Risdiplam, which is by a Roche, which is by a company called Roche. And the amount of the drug is 80 lakhs per year. And I was advised that I take that for the rest of my life. And you can just imagine that raising, you know, for families, it's not easy to give that kind of money to get access to that kind of medication, right? So for us, for my family, the only way to get access to that kind of expensive medication was through crowdfunding. And uh, I feel that if these medications, these expensive medications, if they are not accessible or affordable, I feel that the main thing we as a community, we as a society can do is raise awareness, and also keep in mind that these things can be prevented. So that is what I try and convey through um, wherever I go and whatever audience I meet.
That's amazing, yeah. And you're still in school, you're juggling, being an advocate, writing books. I think that's pretty amazing. Where are you in Bombay? In Navi Bombay?
No, I'm actually in the Andheri side, so in Andheri East.
Okay, if I ever come to Bombay again, I'll let you know. I'd love to meet with you.
Yes,
Yeah,
I would love to meet with you as well.
do you know who I am, Keya?
Well, I did see your profile, but you can surely introduce yourself. I would love to know, like, since we are meeting now, I would love to know a bit about you.
Sure. So Keya, I also have a rare condition. I myself, I'm a motivational speaker and I'm also an advocate of awareness. Well, I hold events. Recently I just held an event here at a local mall, just like you said, to spread awareness, because that I feel is the most important thing. I actually saw your video, Keya, on you did a run for rare diseases.
Yes,
I
yes.
got inspired, so I'm gonna do the same thing. So, for your goal of the future for inclusivity, what message of hope do you want to leave with people who've heard your story? What do you want to tell them today?
So, the only words of encouragement I have for myself and those who wish to draw something for my journey is that, firstly, always believe in your abilities over your disabilities. Secondly, no one has the right to decide what you're capable of but you yourself. And thirdly is to never ever give up. And a quote that I would like to share with all of you is that um, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep, which is a beautiful quote by Robert Frost.
Yes. Tell us what that means, Keya.
So basically, this says that our challenges and everything that we go through can be dark and can be difficult, but there are commitments that we have to make. There are challenges that we have to take because before we rest, there are miles to go before we can take that deep breath and say to ourselves that, um, like to myself, if I had to say that, Keya, you have done it, and now finally you can breathe because what you have done till now and what you have helped others achieve is truly a lot, and now you can finally rest.
Wonderful.
So it says that our journey may not be long, but whatever time we have, we must use it wisely.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Keya. We can conclude
Yes.
now.
Yes. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Alma Auntie, and thank you to all the people listening. And I really do hope that all of you had something wonderful to take away from this podcast.
Yeah, your story, it's not just your story, it's the words that you said that were truly inspirational. And actually, I want to give a lot of credit to your mom as well, because she's helped you gain so much maturity at such a young age, even to live at our age. I mean, at my age, at an older age, I know there are people still struggling with the fact that they have challenges, and the idea that you're so young and you've accepted it, and you could have so many wise words to say, I think speaks a lot, not about your upbringing. So I just want to tell your mom she did a good job.
Thank you.
Keya,
I will tell that to my mom, surely.
as we wrap up another session of Beyond Limit Stories, a space where we share with you stories of striking individuals who defied the odds and claimed their victories despite their hardships. I want to thank Keya for sharing her story. Her story is just a reminder to all of us that physical barriers or mental barriers are not obstacles to success. They just form different paths that lead to greatness. Thank you for joining me on this inspiring and empowering adventure. Remember, their journey towards inclusion and acceptance is continuous, and each of us has the power to drive a positive change in our individual communities. Like Keya's story, be a reminder to you of what courage and the push and drive to success can do. Until next time, I'm Alma Chopra, and keep living beyond limits. Bye.